Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the after party and the live show. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member or if you're not logged into Stunthangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. If you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying. That's courtesy of Jeff Riley. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address or Sparky. The proprietor of Stunthangar will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in, but just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or comments in the chat box, and I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. Now, understand, sometimes I can't get a word in myself, so be patient. I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comments. And by the way, you only can make your comments or questions known during a live stream. So like I said, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, if you find the Stunthangar Video Hangouts that I host or the many building videos, Saturday at John videos, contest coverage videos that Sparky does on this platform, informative and enjoyable, please hit the thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Subscribe. And when you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell and select all so that whether myself or Sparky's on, you'll be notified. Please share the videos, comments on the videos. All these activities help the Stunthangar YouTube channel grow. Please consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. And by the way, I am a member, and I have the $4.99 come out of my own checking account each and every month, and I don't miss it, and I suspect you won't miss it either. So please consider joining. You can also show your support by using the super chat, which is below the chat box over there, and you can donate any amount you like. Now, your support helps offset some of the expenses of running Stunthangar. And with your memberships, you will get special badges and stickers that Sparky and I can see in a chat box. Also, unlimited replay of member-only videos. And once a month, Sparky has a question and answer show for members only. Now, this is Sparky's YouTube channel. I'm in here just twice a week. So if you want to get in touch with me, go to my YouTube channel, which is called Flying Control Line Stunt. That's Flying Control Line Stunt. All the letters are there. And place a comment or question on the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which Sparky shot with his camera of me flying his Junar XL. And I'll receive a notification and be able to respond to you quickly. I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't use words or do things that you wouldn't do or say around your own children or grandchildren. And without any further ado, I'm going to post a link now at the Stunthangar Forum website. So let me do that now. I have a couple things I need to do every time I start this show, so just bear with me. I hope everybody is having a great week. And I went flying today with my buddy Carl Reed, and we had a good time. Weather was absolutely beautiful out here. I don't mean to make people jealous, but it was spectacular. Around 73 degrees, fair winds. It was great. Um, Fantastic. Looks like Bob Hunt's coming in. Hey, that's fantastic. And let me see here. Hey, Bob, how are you doing this evening?
Hey, Charles, how are you?
Doing well. I'm just still setting up the show. I'll just be with you momentarily.
No hurry.
I don't know if there's a better way. There might be a better way, and I don't know it, but I know the other system is all automatic, but this one I got to go in here and do a few things. Looks like we have 6 concurrent viewers, 6 likes. Thank you very much. You've done that. And it looks like Tom Rammel's in here. He provided a like already. Thank you, Tom. And Gary Sinclair. Now he's one of our first members. He has a special sticker next to his name. So I know he's one of our supporting patrons, and I appreciate all of you very much, but I really appreciate the support that some of you do as well. Let's see here. And your support is not necessarily a requirement for you to come in here. You can do this even if you don't, not a member or anything like that. The only thing you do need is to join the forum, the Stunthangar forum, because Sparky is the gatekeeper, and he needs to make sure you're not a troll. And because you would not believe some of the comments, or you probably believe some of the comments I've received over the years. Lots of hateful stuff. So it's a way of kind of keeping that stuff at bay. Let's see here. And I guess we're all caught up. Let me, one last thing, I got to make sure my participants can share. And I'm doing that right now. And all right, looks like we have, I already said hi to Bob Hunt, but I don't know what order you guys came in, but I see Keith Trossel. Thank you for coming in, Keith. Appreciate it. And Gary Sinclair, the guy that's doing our calendar. And hopefully everybody who's interested in getting one of these 12 months, or maybe might be shared with some other people on that month. But this is the gentleman, Gary Sinclair, who does our calendar, our Stunthangar video calendar. And speaking of that, I don't know if I have mine handy.
I think you guys are on as of now.
Yes, and so hey, Jim Hoffman, thank you for coming in. Good to see you. And Bob Whitley, thank you for coming in. Great to see you, Bob.
Hi, guys.
Now we have a Canadian representative in Bob Whitley. And Howard Rush is making his way in here.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So it looks like we're going to have a pate.
Okay.
Well, anybody do any flying?
Haven't seen you guys for a while.
Say it again, Bob.
Haven't seen you guys for a while.
Yes.
I missed you.
I missed you too.
Things have been kind of busy and hectic, so.
I bet. I know that. I know your life can be very hectic. I understand that. Anybody do any flying? I did some flying today. Anybody fly any control line? Precision aerobatics?
I flew last Sunday.
Oh, I was looking forward to hearing your report about your titanium landing gear.
Not good.
Not good, huh? Well, you know what? Well, at least now you know you have some experience, you know?
I have some bad experience.
Well, as long as you profit from it. I mean, you know what? That's the thing. If you profit from it and benefit from it, who knows? Maybe one day you'll figure out a way to make it work.
I could show you a photo if you're interested.
Yeah, I'm extremely. I mentioned it Monday. I was looking forward to hearing from you Monday. I knew you had flew Sunday, and so I'm anxious to hear and see what you got.
Let me figure out how to do that.
Alrighty. So Bob Hunt, I don't know if you're aware, he's trying some titanium wire instead of music wire, which is a lot lighter. Of course, it has different properties.
Yeah, Rick Huff and I use it quite a bit. Rick has a argon environment that you bend it in. You have to bend it in an argon environment to prevent it from cracking. And it's very light, and in the proper application, it's good.
Yeah.
Proper application, that is.
So not seeing how to share a screen.
Well, first you bring up what you want to share first. Make sure that's up first, and then you go to the bottom of our gallery, and you'll see down at the bottom the share button, screen share. It's in the middle. It's green.
Ah, I see it.
Hey, Dennis Adamison's in the house. Thank you, Dennis. Dennis, all I see is the top of your head. Oh, thank you very much.
Hello, brother.
Where's the pink bow tie? I was expecting that, but I guess not every show.
Yeah, that's
You always
okay.
can get back and you go, where's the dreadlocks? Right? So we're so how you doing, Dennis?
We're hanging in there, hanging in. I'm still getting, there we go. Now I'm muted. Have to deliver my like. I'll be
All right. Well, thank
I'll
you very
be
much.
paying attention in a second here.
That didn't work very well.
Oh, wow. Well, at least your plane didn't get hurt, though. Just the landing gear bent, right?
Right. So what you're saying is the inboard gear bent inward. I was looking hard at the fore and aft loads, but really the lateral loads are what really was painful.
Hmm.
You can see here, the wheel now on the left side of the page is bent
Yeah.
in.
Wow.
Your spinner has holes in it too.
Yeah.
I love those little double hash marks on the wing. I'm gonna use those.
I sent you the royalty check there.
So did Dennis Moons.
That lace is so pretty on this plane, Jim.
Yeah,
I mean, it is just beautiful.
haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah.
That's
So it's
since
successfully
1969.
it's drawing your eye away from that bent landing gear, which
No, it's not.
so I think that bend, we took 2 quick flights. Both takeoffs were nice. One landing I purposely made kind of tough, but I'm pretty sure that bend occurred on the first takeoff.
On the
The
takeoff.
lateral loads are pretty significant there. You can see that was a 90-degree bend at
Wow.
one time.
Did you bend it yourself?
I did.
Did you bend it in an argon environment?
No, I simply bent it in my shop.
That may be the reason.
Well, it's annealed 6.4 titanium.
Oh, the annealed part may be the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know what an argon environment is, but Rick Huff told me you have to bend it in an argon environment. And his stuff is apparently not annealed because it holds up really well.
But he's bending 1/8-inch wire.
Yes,
Oh,
he's got it on all his airplanes. No
oh,
problem.
that's significant. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I'll put you in touch with him. Maybe he can, if you send him a drawing, I'm sure he can bend you a set the way he does it.
Bingo.
yeah, I know Rick. But yeah, this was about a 1 ounce weight savings with
Yeah.
those skinny wheels. It was
Yep.
yeah.
Now, when your
Significant.
plane rolled out, does it roll in the arc of the circle, or is it rolling straight tangent to the circle?
I set it up to roll straight, but I think there's merit to having it roll inwards a little bit.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm suggesting. That might take off some of the load taken off.
Yeah, some of the scrubbing action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was a technique way back when people used to put like a layer of like electrical tape around the wheel. So,
Or even
so it
copper
would
wire.
slip, so it would slide.
Mhm.
It wouldn't react any, or wouldn't impart any side loads there, but that's pretty tough to do and make it look like it belongs. So,
Mhm.
No. No.
But-
So that was my excellent adventure last Sunday.
all right.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad that the Predator is okay.
Well, the consensus opinion on this is we like the lace.
Yeah,
That's
it is
it.
absolutely beautiful.
I like your flying field. There's no snow.
Yeah. no
Amen.
snow.
How much snow did you get, Denny?
Not too much yet. It's hitting all around us, but we've been getting a little bit, get about an inch overnight. It goes away the next day and an inch the next night. And Larry Fruits lives about 75 miles west. He got 5 inches of snow the other night.
Buffalo's getting creamed.
Yeah, yeah. I understand the NFL actually moved the football game, but
To
the Bills,
Detroit.
The
yeah, to
Detroit.
Detroit. Oh my God, yeah. I'm sure that'll sell out. So,
Yeah.
We've
but
had
anyhow.
2 inches each the last 2 nights, and by afternoon, most of it's gone.
Mm.
That's the way Denver works for some reason.
Hmm.
Yeah, we get a little bit of sunshine. It seems to make it goes away. The other thing is supposed to be really windy tomorrow too, 20 to 30 mile an hour winds and temperatures in the 20s. So that's not going to be any fun. So that's going to be like Denver or something.
Really good building weather.
Yeah,
Yeah. Only if only if your building room is well heated. I actually have trouble using epoxy. All right. I'm at about 65 degrees or so, and it's enough that epoxy isn't happy working down there. So
Wow. Interesting.
yeah. You guys in San Diego, you have no idea what I'm talking about, do you, Charles?
No, I don't. No, I actually have no idea what you're talking about.
Ah, geez, I love it.
I mean, it was 73 degrees today and fair winds. Some of the
Mm.
best weather I've experienced in a long time as far as flying.
Sure, rub it in.
Yeah,
Might as well.
just another day in paradise. So
Just another day. And the grass was mowed. Not necessarily to your field specifications, Dennis, but it was pretty low.
yeah, yeah.
So Howard, are you frozen or are you with us still? His image is, I think he froze up.
He might have moved to a different location. His Wi-Fi kind of comes in and out when he does that.
I want to try something here, if I may. I got on a different way this time. I couldn't in the past share photos, and I want to try to share a photo just to see if I can do it. Okay.
All right.
All right. So I'll go get that done while you guys talk.
All right.
You can continue to talk till I find the photos. You know.
All right. We'll talk then. All right.
Mhm.
Anybody do any work in their shop since some of you can't fly,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Jim and myself?
that's my full-time job.
All right.
Uh-huh.
So what'd you work on, Keith?
A new big job, cutting out ribs, setting up the leading edges and trailing edges.
Very, very good.
Well, you've had so much idle time since you finished the Chiseler. I guess that's
That's right.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Would you have about a week off? So
just about.
yeah.
Well, finished the Chiseler less than a week before we went to Vegas and came home from Vegas needing a new airplane. So yeah,
That's too bad.
Yeah, that
I got
is.
one of my leading edges molded
Okay.
and it came out good. I'm only using, because it's a straight wing, I only have half the wing being molded for the leading edge, but they came out good. And the second one's on the mold now, wrapped up. And the big job has an interesting thing about the way the trailing edge works. It's got it's a straight wing, straight leading edge and straight trailing edge, but the wing platform, there's a swept forward trailing edge. And a sheet, and the sheet would look like a flap, but it's one piece. Then it moves into the wing rib and it's one piece. So there's no structural break between the sheeting on the trailing edge of the ribs to form the flaps. And that was a design thing that Nacarado did. The plans that Charlie Rees drew up in Flying Model show that, but the several kits that I think was seen of the big job show those flap that flapped part of the fixed flap trailing edge, separate pieces. But Nakarado did that to not have a abrupt change in the contour, that trailing edge leading into the flap. Interesting.
I remember when Winnie Yanowski built his big job, he came up with a method to do that too. I can't remember it specifically, but I remember him going through that great deal, doing that trailing edge of the big job.
Makes a simple design more difficult, that's all.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you build on rods, or do you use the lost foam method, or do you use some other method?
This one, I ventured, cut my own foam cores before, and I did it on this. It's not the neatest job, but it's adequate to hold this thing in position, and it's straight. I know that. It's not the professional jobs that I'm kind of used to and got spoiled by this guy back there in Pennsylvania. Makes these things for me.
Well, I'm having trouble figuring out how to do the sharing thing. I got the thing up in my, what do you call it, the buffer. And I hit share screen, and then it comes up with basic, advanced, and files. And a whole, is there anything I can do here?
Well, once you have your image up and you go down to the share button, you should have like a gallery where you can pick the one you want to share.
Oh, I don't.
You have the picture open. It should show up as one of the screen choices below those
Yeah,
title items.
it doesn't do that, unfortunately.
All right.
Just hold the picture up in front of your camera.
Well, I don't have the picture. It's a digital file.
Okay, Bob, on the top where it says basic, advanced, and files, are you clicked on basic?
No.
Try that.
Okay, now I got desktop one, whiteboard, iPhone, iPad, preview unknown, Google Chrome unknown.
Well, at least, and you do have the picture open.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So open system preferences. Okay. Allow apps below to record the contents of your screen even while using other apps. Well, I have Zoom, but it doesn't do anything.
You're on a laptop or a desktop, Bob?
Yeah, I'm on a Mac desktop.
I'm not familiar with Macs, how they work.
Yeah.
I used to be
Well-
able to do this until we changed to this new Zoom format a while back. Oh, well, no big deal. We'll just keep going.
Yeah, keep trying too.
Hey, let me see if I can try something here.
And Mark Wise, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. And Stuart, thank you for coming in, Stuart. And Peter, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. And
Thank you,
Howard, you're
Chad.
back. Your picture had frozen and he wasn't moving. So I'm glad to see you're moving again. Thank you for coming in, Howard.
That's good.
There we go.
Okay, do you see my bell crank?
I do.
Yeah.
I am messing around with Spectra lead outs. And plan A, of course, I was going to go get, just like we normally do with steel cables and everything like that, I was going to get some 150-pound Spectra and then tie it like we normally tie them and everything like that. And I got a little concerned about how the knots were going to work and things like that. So I thought I might try a different tack. What I have there, each lead out, I used my 80-pound Max Quattro that I make my flying lines from, but I used 3 strands. The reason I used 3 strands is I wanted to be able to do a simple weave of the lead outs to kind of hold them together and stuff like that while they were doing it. And of course, get some redundancy. And I think I like the idea in that I have even with a big lead out, you have basically a single failure mode, lead out breaks. And this with the 3 strands, I think I have triple redundant, whatever, or at least three ways each one can fail. They are the same, the strands are the same size as my normal flying line, And in fact, in this airplane, that's 80-pound line, I think I may be flying it on 65 by the time it's all done. So the key thing is I wanted to be able to pivot it at the bell crank, and this is a Tom Morris bell crank, and I just basically put some posts in the end of it with 440 screws, embedded a blind nut in it with the teeth bent off, epoxied in. That's a 5/32 tube, about 1/8 of an inch tall, with a cap washer, and then I use my my line bending or clip bending tool to bend a basic loop. A round loop wouldn't give me the clearance I needed to the bell crank. I needed a little more space. So let's see, can't get to that.
What diameter is that wire, Dan?
That's the normal lead out clip wire. So it's like 50, I think, is what Jim Lee supplies.
Okay.
So it's brutally strong. And of course, they were wrapped and soldered and all that kind of stuff, but it would be the strongest thing. But it should also have pretty good wear resistance. In the final installation, there's a little dab of grease there on the end for the metal to metal.
You could probably use a shoulder bolt too, couldn't you?
Probably could.
Yeah, I
have a
use,
shoulder bolt. So
I'm not
I
worried.
actually messed around with a flathead. I thought I could use that, but I wasn't real warm and fuzzy with the way that was shaping up. So this is something I thought was pretty low risk. That's the total final installation, a little more of a close up there.
Yeah.
oh, that's on top. Okay.
Yeah. Now, of course, when you get 3 strands, that don't mean anything unless you have them tied, pretty well together. And what I did is I literally took the 3 strands, stretched them out. We wove them together, just a real simple, ABC, ABC, we, 1 over, 1 over, 1 over, 1 over, and did like a full set of that. So I went from ABC and ended up back to ABC. And I think if you do a lot of weaves, and of course, I think you're introducing the possibility for stretch and stuff like that. I just wanted just enough to kind of keep the lines together. And then
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, when I took the lines at the end, I tied them the way we've been tying them, the way Phil came up with and everything like that, with the double loop, which meant there's actually 6 loops in the end here, and then tied it off and everything like that. But then in effect, every line then is, we've still got the double loop for each line that way. And then first time in my life, I'm using the tube style lead out adjuster, if you will. And by doing that, sliding the tube on there and stuff, I can actually make the lead outs completely outside the airplane and then install them, which was kind of convenient too, which was actually, it worked out well because I tied one and I made a mistake and I had to throw it out and tie another one. But at any rate, that's where I'm messing around with. I'm happy with the way it is. So
When you put the line around the bell crank, of the 2 stanchions, since they're above center, do you get any kind of cantilevering effect?
Probably. Certainly. And one thing I did do is I put on the Morris bell crank was 3/16 thick. And I put this tube here that's 5/8 tall.
Right.
And glued that to the bell crank. So my bearing is 5/8 tall. And I'm above the center on that.
Yeah, so that'll
Yeah.
make it, I do that too, in a little
Yeah,
different.
I've never used a Morris bell crank like that before. In fact, this one actually came out of a Strega ARF that had been used for the first electric test, first round that we did that. And this thing was held on. It was on I think a 4mm bolt with a nut above and below it. So it was just, it was just there. But yeah, and you must have been talking to Wesley Dick also, because he's the one that showed me how to do this. And that's the way he's doing his, and that worked real well.
I've been doing that for years.
Yeah, I make this.
When we put the center pull on, just to make sure you have, you don't have any rocking or anything. That works great.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted
I make
Go ahead.
that same mod to a sig bell crank, and I'll make that bushing 1 inch long. on
Wow.
an 1/8" music wire axle.
Yeah,
Well-
yeah, 1/8" music wire axle. Actually, the other reason I wanted to do it that way is this airplane is going to be completely inline, which means you can get into the real funky geometry at the rear push rod from the flap to the elevator. So I decided I wanted to put just a separate push rod, one to the flap, one to the elevator. That way the one to the elevator actually ends up running almost dead flat from the bell crank all the way to the tail. And of course, the one to the flap does what it always does. So, but when you do something like this, if there's any rocking in the bell crank, it's going to eat you up in a hurry.
Yeah,
So that's where that bushing came in.
sure.
So
Do you think there'd be any advantage to putting one lead out on the top and one on the bottom of the elevator to maybe try and mitigate?
after I put it together, I thought, gee, I wonder if I should have put one on the top and one on the bottom. Yeah, yeah. But I think that's one, and that Bob, that would have addressed Bob's issue too. Because then, it would have basically centered right through the center of the bell crank, albeit at an angle that wouldn't matter.
There's not a huge moment there for the cantilevering, but there's,
No,
you know,
no, it's very, very small. It's only about, it's about 1/8 of an inch.
yeah.
And, but if, what the other Bob just said, if they'd have put one on top and one on the bottom, it would have been zeroed.
Yeah.
So,
Although your friction is almost non-existent there on the lead outs, because that's very
there's
similar to
nothing.
doing
Yeah.
with the sand construction with phenolic bell cranks I make.
Mhm. Yeah,
Dips
this
there.
is, at this stage, there is absolutely zero friction anywhere in the system, and it's actually pretty amazing. The line running through the plastic tube is the only resistance, if you will, and that's like non-existent. So, so far, so good.
Yeah. It's good, Denny.
Tune in later to see how I managed to screw it up, but so far, so good. So,
Yeah,
Very
very
good.
clever, Dennis. Very
Yeah.
nice.
well,
Let
that's
me
it. I
interrupt
did, one other thing I did with because it's new, of course, with 3 strands, it's no guarantee you're going to get all 3 of them loaded the same. I tried to be careful and everything like that. I went ahead and pull tested the lead outs to 75 pounds, and then I held for a count of 100.
Wow.
So it's an 80-pound line. I pulled it to 75 and held it to a count of 100. And so that's, well, I had the 2 lines, linear, end to end. So that's like 150 pounds pull. So if the airplane goes beyond that and breaks the lead out, I'll be perfect. I'll cheerfully put it in the fire bin,
Yeah.
along
I
with
know-
what's left of
Got a
my
lock
arms.
nut on, sorry. I noticed you've got a lock nut on one of the ball joints, but not on the other. Is it at the other end of it?
There's
Cap screw.
well, that's a cap screw there.
Same thing with the boat.
No, on the push rod.
On the push rod itself.
On the push rod.
Not-
Oh, just kind of a round to it thing. I put it on this one. Later, I use it more as a marker than anything. I think I can still get one on this by running it up the backside. I'll give
They're
that a
not gonna
shot.
move. They're not gonna move.
Yeah, the one on top, there's an L bent on the end of the wire, so it can't rotate.
Right.
Yeah.
It
So the
wouldn't
one on the
anyway.
bottom is going to have an adjustable end at the elevator end.
Right.
So it's conceivably possible that it could rotate because because it's gonna be rotating at each end, but
There's so much
Uh,
grip, there's so much grip on those things that
yeah,
I don't think you're ever, especially in our case where we have no vibration, you're not gonna have anything move.
yeah, there's negligible vibration, in whatever harmonic and everything like that, because it's long and stuff is, I
And the
think there's
grip
a
on
little
those,
absorption
the
in the
grip on those
plastic
things
end.
is so tight.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, not like those all aluminum RC car ones that I use that are machine thread. You have to have a jam nut on them.
yeah, yeah.
And the nylon really
But-
grips well.
Mhm. So at any rate, we're off and running. We'll see how it works.
Yeah.
Very good. Looks really sharp. Let me welcome some more guests. Thank you for coming in, Jim Bornholt and Carl Reed and Brendan and Angstrom. Thank you guys for coming in.
Hey, everybody.
Dennis, what size airplane is that
Okay.
going in?
It's going into should be a 650 square inch Oh, my God.
Buffalo.
That's my driveway.
Oh, geez.
Whoa.
Yeah, Jim, it should be looking like 60 ounce or less airplane, 650 squares. So
That was for you, Charles.
Wow, man.
And you
That
too,
was
Jim.
us a week ago.
No, that was a few years ago, but
Oh, that was us 1 week ago and we hit pushing 25, 30 below and now we're at freezing or just above it.
oh, good grief.
Wow.
Buffalo's supposed to get killed tonight.
You're now starting to fall tree rake leaf now.
I got a little show and tell item.
It's crazy.
Hey, go ahead, Bob. That'd be great.
Okay. I've been working on those caprices or caprice or whatever the plural of caprice is. And I'm using, I didn't want to use a top loader for the battery because I don't like breaking up that long line in the nose with a hatch. So I use a bottom loader. But in order to get some room in the electronics bay, which was formerly known as the tank compartment, I wanted to put the active timer above the fuse sides in the hollow shell on top. And then I'm going to put the ESC, I think I showed that last week, and I'll show you what I got here.
Boy, it looks like a guitar.
Yeah. Okay, so you can see I have this area here where the ESC is going to go in here, right on the balance point of the airplane, and it's got a nice air outlet hole there.
Nice.
Right, and the ESC is just going to fit right up in here. There's a platform in here where you can tie wrap the ESC and get it behind the electronics bay, and I want to get the active timer on top, but I had to find a way to put it in there and adjust it and still get to it. So actually, Ken Armish came up with part of this idea. There's a little piece there you can pull out. It's like a little shelf, and you can put it up in here too. We'll just put it in from the top though right now. And you can see that you can adjust this in and out.
Yeah.
It'll be a grip. When I get this sealed with some Z-Epoxy, it'll be a nice tight slide fit in there. And the active timer will fit right on top of that.
Okay.
And then be able to slide that right back in where you want it.
Nice.
I
That's
also
very
have
clever.
I have the shell, which is not glued in yet, relieved, so you can get it back in there. I'm going to take that off now. The shell is on top, or not on the bottom shell is on permanently. Top shells aren't. So anyway, so here's what that little shelf looks like.
Yeah, I like that.
Wow. Very ingenious.
You know, Bob, every time I see the stuff you're showing, it reminds me of a teacher I had when I was doing my cabinet making in college. One of the students had asked, what standard do we have to build to? And he said, perfect is good enough.
Well, this is hardly perfect.
And you look like you built perfect.
I got to give credit on this one to Frankie Embriaco. He's the guy that came up with this idea of how to adjust the insert and adjust the active timer. So that's a Frankie Embriaco idea. The little hole here to get to it, that's a Kenny Armish idea. I did a Homer Simpson when I saw him. He's building one too. And he showed me that. I did a Homer Simpson, smacked myself in the forehead and went, dope, so I can get up inside after the top lock is on, and I can pull it and, insert it from below. So, and then it's the top shell. I wanted to show you some of the shells here. I use 1/16 inch balsa, about 6 to 7 pound stock, even as much as 8 pound stock, to do the molding of my shells, on the mold box. And then what I do is I seal the inside with a coat of Z-Epoxy. I brush a coat of Z-Epoxy in there, let it sit for a few minutes, and then wipe every bit of it out and let it cure. So it hardens it up pretty good. And then I put it onto the formers, which are on the fuse crutch, and lined everything up and glue it, and then sand it so it matches on the bottom. And then what I do is I take pieces of 2/10-ounce carbon mat, and I put it into each of these little concave areas between the formers using thin CA, and I just rub it in with my fingers. And remember, Charles, last week I was doing the CA off my fingers. It's from doing that. If you do it fast enough, you don't get stuck, you know. So that's, you know, and it added about doing that added about a gram.
Wow.
So wasn't so bad.
Very neat.
Nice.
See how that's relieved to.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, that's my show and tell for tonight.
Well, thank you very much. That is excellent.
Bob, who built the wings?
I farmed that out to Keith Schostel, who is now cutting foam wings.
There you go.
No, that's sorry example of self-cut foam wings here.
I don't know how many Caprice wings I've done over the years, but as Keith knows, there's been a bunch of them out at VSC over the years, and there's been a bunch of them around the country too. I mean, Roger Wildman had a really pretty one that just got inducted into the AMA Museum, and it's gorgeous. So there's a number of Caprices out there, or Capri, or whatever the plural of Caprice is, you know, which is basically nothing more than Gene Schaefer's Blackbird with different aesthetics on the blocks and the tips and fairings and things, you know. So
Beautiful work.
I can actually pull a picture up of the Blackbird if you want to see the original Blackbird.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can. Guys can talk, and I'll find that.
While he's looking, Charles, I want to thank you for your kind comments regarding Remembrance Day and in honor of our veterans last week on Stunthangar.
Oh, you're welcome.
It'll take me a minute, so you know. I'm not as fast at this as some of you guys are. You know.
No problem.
Okay, here's the Blackbird. This was at the '69 Nationals in Willow Grove. Let me see if I can do this now.
All right. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if that's showing up okay.
It
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
If you notice the airplane, and that's what the Caprice was you know, that's the genesis of the Caprice.
Wow.
Oh. If you notice the paint scheme, if you can see it, I know that photo's fairly small. Can I make it larger? I don't know. Yeah, there you go. It kind of diffuses because it's a very small, you know, res file. But if you look at it, it looks like a marble finish on there.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out.
Okay, what he did was he painted the leading edge white, and then he painted the airplane black, and then he painted the leading edge and the perimeter of the wing and tail white. And then he took steel wool and he dabbed it into orange paint and then dabbed that onto the black areas. And then he took black paint and dabbed it onto the white areas, and it made it look just like marble. And or a bus station floor, as some people have said, you know. But I liked it. I thought it was different, you know, and I may actually at some point in time try to do one just like that.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah.
Nice.
Hey, Joe Gilbert's in the house. Thank you for coming in, Joe. Appreciate it.
Hello, hello.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Hello, hello, hello. Good to see y'all.
Good to see you too, man.
Got a good group.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
Bob, just a quick question. In your, I forget which article it was. I don't know if it was the Genesis or the Caprice original article. Talked about when you first met Gene Schaefer, you went over to his place and you had his airplane and you smacked it
Oh,
into
yeah,
was it that airplane? Or was it a different
no,
one?
It was the airplane just previous to that one.
Okay.
just previous to that one, in case anybody never heard that story, if you want to hear it, I'll tell it real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was flying in a local area, and this guy, Bill Simons, who was the top guy in our area, kind of found me and took me under his wing as, mentoring me. And I started flying with him. And about 2 weeks or 3 weeks into flying with him, he said he's going to a contest at Willets Point, New York, which is where Shea Stadium was soon to be built. And so I said, "Hey, can I go?" He said, "Well, no." He said, "Because I've been invited to Gene Schaefer's apartment for a pancake breakfast before the contest, and I can't invite you to go with me." I didn't know Gene at that time. And so Billy called me that night. He said, I called Gene and I said, "Can I bring my friend with me?" He said, "Yeah, bring the kid along." Right. So we got to Astoria and went up to the apartment. And Billy had neglected to tell me that Gene Schaefer, when he was a kid, he had a bad accident. He was hit by a car and it messed up his nervous system, something bad. And he had this amazing nervous twitch. Anybody ever, Dennis, you probably remember seeing that. So do you, Jim. Just an incredible nervous twitch. He would flail his arms around and pop and snap and twitch. And I knew nothing about any of this. So Billy knocks on the door. Gene opens the door and Billy says, "This is Bob Hunt." And Gene went to shake my hand. And at the last instant, he pulled his hands away and went, "Ah!" And he's doing all kinds of crazy gyrations. I freaked out. I didn't know what was wrong with him, So we got into the house, into the apartment, and with Bob Lampione and Gene and Billy were talking, and Gene's wife was there, who was a rockette, by the way. She was a rockette at Radio City Music Hall. And his new airplane was sitting there on the ground, all in matte black. It hadn't had no trim on it yet. It was in matte black, and it looked perfect. I mean, the airplane looked perfect. So I said, "Mr. Schaefer, can I pick up your airplane?" Yeah. Okay, be careful. Well, I picked it up and I'm looking at it, and it's amazing how loud it sounds when a wingtip hits a stereo cabinet. And the whole place just went silent. They all looked at me. And this is why one of the chapters in my Genesis book is named "I'm Going to Die in Astoria."
Close.
Close, yeah. He got over it.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty amazing you survived that encounter, and then I thought Gene was physically imposing. He wasn't really tall, but he was really, really broad shouldered, and he had that twitch and everything like that.
He looked like a New York.
He looked like somebody, like a wrestler or something. I don't know.
He looked like a New York City mobster.
Yeah.
He really did, and we were all afraid of him, because he was.
Oh, that's it. Nicest,
He used to come to the contest still dressed in his tux and his ruffled shirt because he was a musician and a guitar player in New York City. He'd go to every night. He had a gig, So he'd come to the contest and he'd be popping uppers just to stay awake, And his eyes were like bloodshot, and he'd take off his shirt to his t-shirt and fly in his tuxedo pants at the contest with a t-shirt. And we were all afraid of him. He was a very imposing figure.
Mm-hmm.
Later found out he was a puppy dog, but that's okay.
Yeah, genuinely nice man, wonderful man, and everything like that. But he was, let's just say, I wouldn't have waited for him to kill me. I would have died on the spot. All right, if I had gone through what you did. So yeah, I wouldn't have waited for the inevitable. So
yeah, I could tell you a million Gene Schaefer stories.
Might be a dumb question, but did you damage the wingtip or?
Yeah, I put a little dent in it, but he said he could fix it. He was actually pretty good about it. I was really surprised. And the contest that day he won. There's an interesting side note to that contest that I probably have told this story here before, but that was right in 1964 or 65. That's when that was the era when Wendy Ertnowski had the original sweeper. And he had his car was a little Chevy Nova. A two-door, hot rod Nova, and you couldn't put, the stabilizer of that sweeper wouldn't fit in that car, So we had a box that he put on top of the car to travel with, and we all got out to the contest, and Wendy didn't show up. He didn't get there till the end of the day. Contest was over. Wendy rolls in with the sweeper on top of the car. And everybody said, well, where were you? He says, well, I got arrested. For what? He says he went into a toll booth and the toll collector stuck his head out and the box that held the sweeper on top of the car knocked the toll collector out.
Oh, damn.
He got arrested.
Oh, my God.
Hopefully the charges were dropped.
Yeah, I don't know whatever came of that, but you know, that was the story he gave us. So, you know.
Wow.
Hey, Mark, did you ever get that email with my address that you'd asked me to send you? Because I can't seem to access sent emails ever in Stunthangar for PMs.
Oh, no, I didn't.
I'll try.
Okay. Yeah, because I have some decals for you.
Yeah, because I sent that, I don't know, over a month ago, and
No, I didn't.
I don't know why, but if it's just me or what, but I've never been able to access sent emails, just messages on Stunthangar.
Well, I'll tell you, if you can, I don't know if you can do it on here somewhere, but if you can send me your mailing address, I'll do that.
Yeah, I'll see if I can figure that out.
Okay. Be
Put it
glad
in the
to.
chat, in the chat box down below.
Mhm.
That'll do a text message. You can send it to Mark.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Perfect. I'll do that.
Thanks.
Jim Hoffman has another picture of a blackbird he wants to show us.
Is that up already?
No.
Okay, this is not the blackbird. Remember I think it was last week, on Monday night, I told you a story about him with his first stunt machine, and he crashed it when it didn't fly right, and the engine came out of it and landed on the top of Lampioni's brand new Sabre jet.
Yeah.
I told that story.
Yep.
Okay, let's see if I can. Okay, somebody else is sharing here, so
This is the blackbird, Jim?
Yeah, this
There's
is
Blackbird on the wing.
a blackbird that's built and flown by Warren T. Hart.
Yep.
So this is about 10 years old, 10 years ago at Whittier Narrows. There we
Yep.
go.
Wow, that's
Cool.
pretty.
You can see the resemblance to the Caprice.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Mm.
That
Yeah,
is
nice
pretty.
airplane.
Yeah, great airplane.
Is it just me, or am I the only one who noticed it's not a blackbird?
Yeah.
Well,
I have
interesting
to talk to
story.
Warren about that.
Yeah.
Interesting story. Gene did not name it the Blackbird. He never named his airplanes in those days.
Right.
And so Billy Simons and I, we named it the Blackbird.
Yeah.
Because the original one was black.
Mhm.
Very cool. Gordon, thank you for coming in, Gordon. Gordon Delaney's here.
Hey, Gordy.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Gordon.
Good evening. There he is. Uh-oh.
There you go.
And that's the one that nobody ever saw because on the day he first flew it, it didn't fly well, and it just did a wing over and didn't pull out. Crashed it, the engine got flying out of it on the asphalt, landed right on top of Lampioni's brand new Sabre jet, unflown Sabre jet.
Oh, man. Now, what
Yeah.
model is this, Bob? I don't quite
That's the
recognize it.
third stunt machine.
Wow, that is pretty.
Okay,
Yeah.
Bob, as far as Lampion's airplane, which Sabre was it? Was it he had the original one that was, I think, probably predated this.
He had three of
Would
them.
that have been the Fox 59 one?
No,
Oh,
there was another one that he never used much in competition on the East Coast. He used it a couple of times with a 35 size, and it was the most exquisitely beautiful one of the bunch.
Yep.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I remember that airplane.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful stuff, you know.
It was a darn good builder. All the
Just
stuff
a
was nice.
Little reference.
That's I was having a discussion with Paul Taylor the other day. I met Paul out at the flying field that they fly at, and we had a discussion about how back in the day, usually there was Bob and Gene used to do all this very intricate cockpit detail, which was kind of like after over the years has been lost on the stunt ships.
Can everybody see that one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that was published. And it had a USA on the inboard wing and FAI on the outboard wing. And just like we named the USA because it had USA on one wing and AMA on the other wing, this one we called the USA Fe. It was not named until Don McGovern asked him if he could publish it. And Don McGovern, Gene said, yeah, but it doesn't have a name. And Don said, how about Stunt Machine? And Gene said, fine. So.
Wow, that is pretty. So he obviously flew the other direction.
Yes, he did.
I always love the air coupe rudders.
Yeah, he was big into twin rudder airplanes.
Is that the one that's at Lou's house?
Yes. Well, it's not Lou's house anymore. Gene's daughter, Hope Coling, got in touch with me, and she wanted to know more about her dad because she was estranged from her dad when she was very young. They got divorced, and her mother moved away with her, and she wanted to know more about her dad and got in touch with me. And I told her that we had one of his airplanes. It was actually in Lou's place. And I asked Lou if he would mind if we gave that to Hope. And he said, no, that'd be great. So Ted Fancher came down from the San Francisco area at one VSC and picked it up from Lou and took it back up. Matter of fact, I have pictures of that, of him giving it to her, giving the airplane to Hope. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, here it is. I'm going to see if I now go to screen share. Oops. You there?
Not yet.
Hold on, I gotta do something here. What am I doing? Let me get rid of that. All right, I can go down to screen share here. And
There you go.
And Denny, doesn't she look like Jean?
No,
No.
she's much prettier.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you can see the facial features, the
Yeah,
teeth, everything, very
certainly,
much like Jean.
yeah, the dark hair and very,
Yeah.
very pretty girl.
Wow,
So,
pretty airplane too.
yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that airplane as like, to me, that was Gene's signature airplane. It was the one that I will remember him for. So I thought that was the most spectacular performing airplane I'd ever seen. But,
Yeah. Me too. I don't want to dominate the rap here, but if you want to hear a little story about that airplane, I have a good story about that too.
Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
Okay,
these
you want me
stories
to?
are great.
I'll take the screen thing off here. So you want me to leave it up while we're telling the story?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, leave it.
Bob Lampione was the East Coast representative for Foam Flight, the company that made out in Mankato, Minnesota. Mike Stott and his dad Arnie made foam wings, and those were the first foam wings I ever used. Were Mike and Arnie's. And then I started making them myself and doing triple coring where they were only doing double coring. It was like a little, marketing gimmick. And I started cutting them for myself and for Bill Simons. And Gene saw we were having real good results. So he asked me if I'd cut him one for this airplane. And I said, sure. So he came over to the house. And in those days, it was a more arduous process. It took like probably an hour and a half to get a panel spurred properly and cut properly. And we got the first one done, all cored out. This is before we knew about sanding them before we cored them out. All cored out and perfect. And I handed it to him. And Gene was a smoker. And he has a cigarette in his mouth that he had an ash about 1.5 inches long. And he started popping and snapping and twitching when I handed him the wing. And it popped the ash off the cigarette and went right through the wing. It burned right through the wing.
Oh, no.
And I grabbed the wing out of his hand and I crushed it over my knee. And he went ballistic. He said, what did you do that for? And I said, well, it's not perfect. I said, I want to make a perfect one. And he was okay with that. So then the second one we made is the one you're seeing right here.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah.
That is great.
Did you make him put the cigarette out before he handled it in the second one, Bob?
Boy, howdy. Those were good days.
While we're talking about Gene Schaefer, maybe we've talked about this before, but he's one of the 2, 3, or 4 people that can lay claim to some of the best stunt flyers who never won the Nats.
Yes.
Schaefer was one of those.
4 second places. One of them to me by appearance points.
He did win the team trials one year by he was by a comfortable margin. I mean, he was dominant on the field that day.
Yeah, that was 75 in Dayton.
And we all had great expectations for him, but his flying backwards, none of the Americans who went over to Europe flying clockwise, clockwise, never did well.
That's the airplane in Dayton. That's the day he won that team selection.
What plane is that?
It's called the United States.
Oh,
Pretty.
And was
I
a
like those,
built-up wing. That
I like
was a
those
built-up
twin
wing.
rudders.
Yeah, he had a big thing for twin rudders. He built 4 or 5 twin rudder airplanes.
Gives a little profile.
Very flat.
Yeah, I got something else. I've got something else of interest. I don't know whether you can see this binder.
Big here. Hang on one second. Okay.
Not.
All right, there we go.
Yeah,
Stunt
magazine
magazine
columns from
column.
flying models. And
Wow.
this goes all the way from, what is it, March 81 to March 2014. First column was by Bob Hunt, and then he shared those duties with Wendy and who else?
Yeah,
And
that was the Bob Hunt that had hair, wasn't it?
yeah, and then the series that Fred Carnes was in here that did a couple of the columns, and then of course it went over to Alan Brickhouse. But I think that's significant. There's a lot of information in there
Yes.
over
Not
those
bad.
20 odd years. And I go back into this every so often because I remember an article that, or one of those columns that Hunt said something profound, and I had to go back and look at it.
That was the only profound thing I ever said.
Yeah.
There were 2 or 3 in this book. Maybe 2 or 3, yeah.
Very good.
I have similar book, but not this thick, for American Modeler and Model Airplane News and that kind of stuff. But this is all from one Flying Models and one editor who started it all. Good for him.
Amazing.
Yep.
I think I can find one more picture here of a Gene Schaefer airplane.
Well, what was you showing there, Peter? I'm sorry, I'm a little bit late. You know,
And now Howard didn't show it. Keith didn't show it, but then there you go. Flying Models 1974.
Oh, nice.
Yep, I have it in my old collection.
Very
I'll
nice.
remember that one. I was fascinated by that airplane.
Yes.
Bobby Hunt.
Yo,
Oh,
yeah.
hey,
What's up?
when I first started flying, there's a guy came from Joplin named Ken Nash, and his wife was named Arlene, I think. And he had airplanes that looked like these. Did you ever know Ken Nash
I know the name.
from Joplin, Missouri?
I know the name. Did he used to fly with Bob Harp?
I don't know, but his wife was named Arlene, and she judged in Tulsa a couple times
Wow.
back 2004-3, years ago. But my brother-in-law's got one of his old airplane, and I think it's the other one, not that, the USA stunt machine or whatever you called it, I think.
Yeah, the stunt machine.
It's even got a prop painted similar to that one on it. So
And you can see why this one was called the Usama.
I'm going to go look at that airplane
Oh, okay.
this weekend.
Very cool.
Oh, it's right.
Usama. Okay.
I see. Yeah.
Red, white, and blue prop. That's 10-6EW to boot, y'all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure
Very
was.
nice.
So,
And
Those
we
are
have Walter Umlin joining us. Thank you, Walter, for coming in. Appreciate that. So right now we have 17 of us in here, and so be patient. You might step on someone's words.
Yeah, there's Jane.
See what you mean by him being a tough looking guy.
he was
Yep.
a rough looking guy, yeah. Looked like a mobster. This was at the team selection in Cleveland. What was that, Denny? It was 70.
One,
71.
71.
Mhm.
71.
And he missed the team with a underrun. He underran. He would have made the team easily had he not underrun.
Yeah, that
Wow.
was my first experience with guys from New Jersey. I was on a flying circle and there were a whole bunch of cars drove up and all these guys from New Jersey and New York piled up and they took over the circle.
Was that Flushing Meadows? Is that what you said?
You know, that was Cleveland.
Oh. Yep, New York guys will tend to do that. They'll drive in and they'll take over a circle. Hey now, Pete.
Well, yeah, Cleveland, they were limited. They only had 8 circles. All right. So,
Gee, poor guys.
yeah. So, you know, so they had to take over Keats.
Anyways, Brendan and maybe Angstrom, they have a comment or question on a different subject. So go ahead, Brendan.
Yeah, so one comment I got is I've talked to a couple of different people at the Brodex shop in the last couple of days, and if it isn't common knowledge, they did put out there to me their prices are going to be going up very soon on all their
boy.
so just kind of news flash to anybody looking to buy kits is from Brodak. I think the balsa prices are probably driving things up for them. So
Oh, it's killing everyone.
yep.
Bob's probably the only one that's surviving because he bought all the wood.
So there's that side of things. Then the other thing is Angstrom and I are we're working on our Nats build for next year. We got SV11 arc wings that we're working with, but we're going to build our own fuselage. We're going to make it a profile. That way he can fly not only Pampa stunt with, but also enter it in profile events as well. One of the things that I'm running into is that I've seen all over Stunthangar, you know, I think Ken Culberson mentions it a lot. The idea of putting arrow shafts in the fuselage to kind of strengthen things up. Well, we were considering also laminating it with the 1/64 ply on the sides, but talk about something that's up there in price, like doing a whole SV11 profile fuselage. I mean, I've got the 1/2-inch balsa, but to laminate both sides with a 1/64, that is going to be like my whole wallet. So I don't know if these arrow shafts are going to be good enough to help with the bend and take some of the twist out of things, or if people have other creative ideas for laminating that may be a little on the cheaper side, but I'm kind of.
I've tried the arrow shaft, Brandon. And
What's
in my Cosmic Wind, which isn't all that big of an airplane, I buried an arrow shaft into the fuselage, you know, that's 1/2-inch plank, and it added an ounce and a little bit to the weight.
Okay.
It's a pretty heavy penalty. On my Vector, I've got an extremely stiff fuselage, and what I did, although I had to sacrifice a bit of weight, I took the lightest 1/4-inch I could get, and I laminated it with 2 layers of 1/4-inch with strips of carbon fiber tow in between.
Okay.
And then I covered it with a layer of 1/2-ounce glass cloth and squeezed out all I could on that. And I've got an incredibly stiff Vector 40 fuselage out of that. And it's a little bit heavy, the airplane, but it flies really well. So that might be an option for you.
Go ahead,
All right.
Jim Hoffman.
You're
you're
muted.
Jim.
I can endorse what Robert said. 2 1/4-inch pieces of balsa laminated together stiffens things up greatly. Putting carbon tow in the center on the neutral axis, I think, does nothing. I have put carbon mat on the inside, and all that does, it makes a beautiful sanding guide. You always have a center line. So that's been my experience.
And just for clarification, when you laminate, you're using epoxy, right? Not like
Right.
not using any other type of glue, but epoxy.
Yes,
Epoxy
epoxy.
and squeegee out everything you can.
Yeah, nothing that air cures. Epoxy.
Now, when I did the toe on it, I don't know if it helped or not, but rather than just straight strips, I did a straight strip top and bottom, basically, like you say, sanding guide. But I did like a truss structure of strips of toe down the fuse. I don't know if it did anything or not, but it was an experiment to see if it could be done, and it worked. I've got the glass on the outside is probably contributing more though.
Mhm.
Okay, this is a variation on what Bob was suggesting. You take the 1/4 inch sides, and then what I did is, this is a 3/6, or actually a 6mm square tube. Got it off Amazon. They were cheap, and they were like $5 or $6 or something like that for the tube. My intention is I'm going to take, I have a Walter Umlin Excalibur, and it uses, Walter uses his profiles have 1/4 inch sides on them. And I plan on building that. I'm going to put the 1/4 inch sides, and I'm going to use this as a top and bottom rail on that fuselage. Some uprights in it and stuff to keep it from crushing and stuff like that. You take the fuselage and just make it a little bit wider. That makes it a lot stiffer. And if you're using something like this, it adds a lot of stiffness if you put a top and bottom rail. And that's not going to weigh an ounce. I don't know what it weighs, but it's nothing like that.
You also got to be careful you don't go too wide. Or did they get rid of the restrictions on this width of thickness of a few profile?
If you make it 3/4 of an inch, nobody even notices. If you make it
Okay.
an inch, you might get even on an SV-11 size airplane, an inch thick fuselage really doesn't look that bad.
I'm just curious. I don't know what the new rules are.
There are
No,
no,
the funny thing is there isn't a rule on it.
There aren't any rules. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
let Joe Gilbert, and he raised his hand. Go ahead, Joe.
We always call unlimited profile in the Midwest. It's run what you brung profile.
Right.
But if you guys ever built Don Hutchison's Warbird series airplanes or seen the plans to those, where you use half-inch balsa and you make the front end solid geodetic back and then sheeted with different angles down the side with balsa wood. And those suckers are a plank. There's no twist in them babies. But they're geodetically built inside the fuselage out of half-inch balsa. Then eighth by half, geodetic to the back, and then sheeted at 45 opposite directions, both sides with just balsa, 1/8 inch balsa. That I found if you use the 64th ply, they're not as strong. They'll flex more than balsa wood
Okay.
Interesting.
for what that's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah, Terry Forbes used to do that too. You would use the balsa and different angles on the side, and he got a lot of stiffness out of doing that.
Well, look at the stink some people would make out of El Rabi's Mustangs and whatnot, because you get up inverted engines. So what? It's actually adding more weight probably to the airplane. So you're penalizing yourself maybe.
I've never seen it. I haven't seen that many of them, but I've never seen one of the upright engine profile Mustangs DQ'd or not allowed to compete or anything like that. I've only seen a handful of them though.
All I'm going by is what I've read in some of the old articles in Stunthangar.
Yeah, there are people say, "Oh, you can't do that." Well, the same thing. They used to beef about Ted Fancher did his imitation with
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
firewall mount.
Yeah.
And he did that to get an inverted engine and also to get he got a really stout front end out of it, which is in a profile. That's the number one bugaboo on a full size profile. So the fuse, the front end ends up like a tuning fork. And if you can stiffen that up, then all the bad news goes away and you can get a decent engine run and all that.
There you
But
go.
again, nobody pushes back on the imitation. Frankly, Scarlett, if I'm the CD, you show up with an airplane that's 3/4 of an inch wide in back and almost anything you want to do up front, and we're not even going to take a second look at it. So
That is very interesting, Bob.
Yeah, that's the Joe Knoll Cadet. Mark, tell you more about that. We built, Mark came up along with about 3 other guys. We built 5 of these airplanes to fly in about a week, to fly down at the Joe Knoll gathering. And that's a foam core fuselage. And then it has a solid balsa front end that keys in there. And then you put your hold it for your wing. I'll put some other pictures up here so you can see it and just get.
Let me welcome Lynn Burrell. Thank you for coming in, Lynn.
Hey, guys. Yep.
And
Hey,
Sleep is here.
You waving goodbye, Joe?
No, just saying
I
hi to
was
Lynn.
waving to me.
Hi. Yeah.
All right, cool. Oh, that is so neat. It looks very rigid.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was pretty rigid. Mark still has one of these. He flies it.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I hung it up in my shop and the plane stayed straight, but the shop warped. So it's a pretty good design.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's great.
Oh, yeah.
All
look at
right,
that.
there it is.
Looks
There it
sharp.
is. Yep.
I flew that at Brodax one time.
Yes,
That's a good little airplane.
that's right.
That
You
that
must
cylinder
flew it.
looked a bit small.
Mike Palco flew it. Yep.
I like that canopy design.
Yeah, it is nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like big canopies on stunt ships.
yep.
Man, I don't ever see one that's too big.
The bigger you make the canopy and the pilot, the smaller the airplane looks.
Yeah.
The smaller you make the canopy, the bigger it looks. You know, if you're looking at perspective of a full-size airplane.
Right.
So this is kind of like a simulated yak or something like that. We did.
Yeah.
We blew this up in about 20 minutes and started building them.
It's a good flying little airplane when I flew it.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a great little airplane, you know. So, actually, here, yeah, this is good. This will show you how sick we are.
Thick puppies. Look at that.
All right.
Yeah.
Have nothing to do, Bob.
Well, I had Mark up here working. I chained him to the bench and got him working. Oh, I forgot what you were working on, Mark. You were doing something. I did the wings, and Frankie and Briaco did the tails. And I mean, we had like an assembly line going. It was Buddy Weeder helped out, and Tommy Hampshire helped out. There was a bunch of us.
Yeah. You had me on the removable tail wheel rigs, which were actually pretty neat.
Yeah.
They were specially bent into a V shape, and you compress the V and slide it up into the bottom of the fuselage, and it would lock in.
Yeah,
And then if you needed to remove it, you just press it and pull it out.
That's the Yatsenko tail wheel.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Sort of
Yes.
reminds me of a few years ago when I churned out 8 rugged stunt trainers. I figured I already made the templates for one. I may as well make a bunch of them.
Yeah.
This will bring back memories, Mark.
There you go.
You know, I like that picture, Bob, because I remember being happy before I took over Pampa.
That's funny.
I had hair and everything.
Come up here and take over Mac.
Oh,
I got a better idea. Just ditch it.
Nah, we're doing good. We're gonna have a great Nats this year.
We will.
Okay, last week I had a cutout when my wife came in the door. I wanted to show you guys that little. Are you done showing stuff, Bob?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Come on, where is it? How do you do this? Every time I do this, I get screwy on
That's
what I'm
okay. You
doing.
just got to bring up the thing you want to share. Bring it up first, and then go.
I
down to
have
the
it up.
bottom. Okay, then go down to the bottom. There's a green icon called screen share. You click on that.
Yep.
Then you have
Will
a
it not
gallery.
A PDF?
You can show anything.
Yeah, that'll work.
It doesn't matter what it is.
Okay, let's see it. Let me do it again. Okay, I got that. We bring this,
Comes up, click on it, and then hit share.
then hit screen share. window, there it is. I had to click on, there you go. That's the Laser 200 profile that Larry Fruits made.
Wow.
Oh,
Cool.
That was the secret project for 5 years.
Wow.
He
I
flew
remember-
that pretty good at Brodex this year.
Yes, he did. It's a beautiful airplane and it flies
is.
extremely well.
Did fly well.
That looks
It'd be
neat.
impressive to see that much balsa wood in the air at one time.
See, it's got a geodetic fuselage as such,
Hmm.
Yeah.
similar.
A lot of
Yeah.
lightning holes too.
What engine is it designed around, Walter?
51.
51 looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Larry's got a
It's like-
51 on his. I think an LA 46 would handle it, that kind of ballpark. So,
What
He's a
what
real
this
good
is,
builder.
what this is the Gid Atkinson's Laser 200 reduced, then reduced again, and then made into a profile.
Wow.
That's nice.
And I can cut the big Gid Atkinson's Laser 200. I can cut a reduced built up one, and then this one.
So are you back in production then, Walter?
No, not. I'm gonna just start out cutting ribs. I'm gonna try doing ribs and plans to see who's interested in stuff. I'm actually in the shop right now, but I get tired out here.
Sure.
A long time ago, I wanted to do RC Warbirds. So I bought up a whole bunch of Gemco kits.
Ah,
Bob would know those, the
Oh, yeah.
Gemco
Yeah, sure.
RC Warbirds.
Mhm.
I have 9 out of them. And I just started taking them off the shelf so that we can take pictures to put them up on the internet. And boy, that was tiring. And all I did was sit on my ass. My son did everything. And I just sat there and we lifted the lids up, obviously moved crap. Some of them we had to take peanuts out of, After a while, I just take pictures of the boxes. It was just very tiring for me. And so while I feel great, I really do, I feel fantastic. I don't think I have that thing called stamina yet.
Yeah.
Well, whenever the time comes that you're up to molding some canopies for the kits, I'm definitely in for 2 or 3 chipmunk ones.
I don't mold the canopies.
Oh, you don't? Okay, somebody
No.
said they got some from you, but
Yeah, they do. Certain canopies, because when I was in full production, I was getting Wing Manufacturing was doing all my canopies. But then he closed up shop, took the molds and said bye.
Jesus.
So when I need canopies, I go to Park Flyer Plastics and I send him my last canopy of whatever it is. And he'll make a mold at a body putty. So the canopy gets ruined, the last one I have. And then he just remolds the canopies. So I'm down to let's see, do I have here? Yeah, I'll show you. Actually, it's right here. I'm sure most of you guys know what a canopy plug looks like. But the Black Tiger P40?
Yeah. Bob
Well,
Elliott.
I've been wanting to kit that airplane for like 100 years.
Wow.
And we got canopies for the Black Tiger P40. But I lost the plug. No, wait. Yeah, I don't know where the plug is. This is the, you know, those real nice Stiletto 660 canopies I get.
Yep.
You get in my kits. You see, I do take care of them. Or at least I try. That's a.
Your
Let me
background. Ruining it.
Pull back a little bit.
hold on. Let me take that screen thingy off.
Pull back towards you just a little bit.
And make it big here too.
There you go.
There you go.
Cool.
That's
No,
sweet.
I have that blur thing on.
There
There
you
we
go.
There you go. Keep it right there.
Nice.
Oh, very nice.
Very sharp.
And what's that made out of?
That's actually Bondo.
The whole thing?
The whole, that's a Bondo. And then for my Jim Van Loo chipmunk,
Uh,
Oh, yeah.
then I just, a canopy goes right over it.
Yeah, I tried to get a canopy from SIG, but when they had the fire, they figured that the molds burned up in that.
Well, that's for the Jim Van Loo chipmunk. That's the P40.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Nice.
That was supposed to be for the Black Tiger P40.
Very nice.
And I got a couple of them. Let me show you one. Looks a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Nice relief in it. Yeah.
You know, the only thing is the first, according to the guy that that does the actual canopies, he says when you make a mold, and I don't know how true it is, but the first few, like, you know, sometimes if you do it right off the a brand new one, you know, you might go 100 canopies before they're clear.
Mm.
Anybody can tell me what that's for?
All American. I don't know.
I saw the box before it went out of sight there, so I am not going to answer, but I know
Answer it. What is it?
it's a Cobra.
Woolly Cobra. That's right.
Darn.
Yeah, you actually really pretty distinctive with the peak, the peaky shape. You know, wasn't wasn't a full round turtleback.
Right.
A real signature thing
Now-
with student airplanes.
What's really cool is Bob knows the sensitivity of this canopy. When I went to make the kit, we couldn't find a plug. So AMA, the guy at AMA, pulled the airplane down or got up on a ladder, and there was no canopy on the airplane either. So what they did was they traced the backing of it for me. Okay, and then
Maybe the one that's in the hobby shop there.
the one that's in the museum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the hobby shop in the museum. There's a
The
green.
hobby shop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I sent them a canopy after I had these done, but this one was a little. Ty actually made me all of those canopies, and they were really thin. Then the guy at Wing Manufacturing made me new ones, and I sent him one of those. Them at the museum or the hobby shop at the museum, and
You know who would
I don't
have-
know if they ever, huh?
You know who would have a mold for that would be Mike Dietrich. Because he built
Well,
a whole bunch of Cobras.
I don't make that anymore, that airplane. And I don't make that airplane anymore.
When you
We
get a
all
canopy,
know-
when you get a canopy out of Park Flyer Plastics, I have a mold a buck for one. And it's just plain balsa wood. The process we were using back then, that was the only thing we could use. But at any rate, if you send them a mold, will they just go ahead and make it, or do you have to sign up to buy 100 of them, or how's that work with them?
No, as a matter of fact, I was just going to show you the Gemco Focke-Wulf, if I said that right, Focke-Wulf. I was going to kit, like I said, the Gemco kits. The guy made me, can we see the, we can't
It's
see
really
it.
blurry. Yeah.
No, that's all right. I tried. The tooling charge was $50 to make the molds. He made me the canopy, the cowling, the fairing, the air scoop, and the exhaust. And the whole entire set, he charged me $17.
Wow.
Oh my
That
goodness.
was back in 2017.
Wow.
But I sent him the stuff for the Japanese Zero kit. And he sent them back because he wanted hundreds of dollars to do it. He said the Focke-Wulf cost too much time and money, and he kind of just did it as a favor. I said, you didn't do it as a favor. You charged me $50. You know what I mean? But he's very reasonable.
There's a little
He's
something
very
that's the Cobra.
That's the Cobra. Yeah, it looks just like what was
And
similar.
that's Steve Woolley.
Right.
That is very cool.
And it's about as close as we could get. That's the one that's in the museum hobby
Yes.
shop.
Mhm.
I don't know where they are right now, but I've got canopies for the international stunt winner, the Gene Schaefer's stunt machine. Obviously the stiletto. I've got a canopy that I use. It's actually a Brodak canopy that's identical to the one I used in the Colossus, which is a huge canopy, you know. But and then I got the chipmunk, the Jim Van Loo chipmunk, which is different. So I mean, I've got a few canopies, and just
Oh, look at that.
you know,
That is a cool, that's an iconic.
yeah. See,
Billy
what stinks is Bob has firsthand knowledge of all of these because he grew up with these guys.
Well, I got older. I never grew up.
Well, okay, you grew old.
I love
We're
that.
all 13.
Love that.
Get over it.
I love
He
that.
grew old with these guys. I didn't want to
Yeah, I
say
did.
that.
I've always had the philosophy similar to Bob's. I may grow older, but I can be immature forever.
Yep.
And I'm striving for immortality, or I'm going to die trying.
That's it.
Hey, it's
hey,
like,
Bob, I have a
they
question from Brendan.
tell you to
He
act
has
your age.
What's that?
Robert Whitley.
Yes,
Brendan, he wants your contact information.
I just sent it to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what is
Yeah, I
Mini
got it. Thanks.
4?
I got
What
it. Thanks for sending it over.
Great.
Okay, cool. No
What
problem.
does Mini 4 represent? Why do you use Mini 4?
Oh, sorry, I didn't change the name.
I'm
It's
just
just
curious.
a name Kim gave to this particular iPad. It's our fourth one or something like that. I
Oh,
don't.
okay. All right.
I should change it. Sorry.
It's okay.
Can I ask a question to Len quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey Len, how much fuel did you put in the Cardinal?
3 3/4. Oh, and your Cardinal?
Yeah,
100.
now.
Yeah, your Cardinal, 115 cc's.
115 cc.
Actually, you know what? I just fill the tank. Just fill it right up.
Okay.
You can fill it right up. It'll be fine. It'll still be under 8 minutes.
Okay, that's all I need.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay.
Go ahead, guys.
Alrighty.
Dennis, just send him your buck and your as he calls it, tooling.
Mhm.
And if he doesn't want to use it, he'll make you a new one by pulling yours, cleaning it up, and if it needs cleaned up, you know. But I don't think he's going to just do the tooling, you know.
without your okay.
Yeah, when I had this canopy made, the guy who made it for me, his system didn't work well with real smooth, solid bucks. So he had things that were like fiberglass and stuff, and they didn't work worth a darn. He found that the best thing was just a bare balsa, you know.
Okay.
So he'd pull it, but then you were left. It would basically pull the wood grain into the canopy too.
Yeah,
So
they
the first
do.
thing you had to do was sand out the inside and sand out the wood grain and then polish it out. So
Yeah. He's
What-
actually the guy I sent the that canopy you sent me when I was
Yeah.
planning to do the United. You had
actually, you
sent
did
me
that for the
canopy that was
Typhoon.
right, but it's the same type.
Yeah.
It's the same type of
It is,
canopy.
yes, it is.
So if you ever need one for that, you know, you can get the canopy from there. I mean, hell, I even finished those plans. You know that?
Well, yeah, I was gonna, but you're cutting ribs and making plans. We got to talk some more, my friend.
Okay.
Need a set of ribs and a set of plans. So
Okay.
He needs a
Send me the
dolphin, he needs a dolphin canopy.
I got one of them too.
right.
Pretty.
Look at that.
Wow.
I have a dolphin. I have a dolphin.
Wow, that's nice.
Cool.
That's
I
amazing.
showed that picture to my daughter, and she said, I asked her if she knew who that was. She had no idea. So
Wow.
Are you
Never
12
seen
years
that man. Huh?
old?
Are you serious? You didn't know what Daddy looked like?
no, she didn't recognize me. So
Look
Hey,
at the
Dennis,
ball.
are those Spectra shoelaces?
no, they
That's
were not.
funny.
They were not. They were not.
Hey,
They
you,
were
Dennis,
steel
for
cable.
dealing
Interrupt
with
you guys. I can't. You guys are on a roll. I think Gordon, you had a question or a comment, Gordon?
Yeah, I had a comment for Dennis. Remember I was having problems with my profile coming in on the outside squares and stuff?
Yeah.
Found the problem.
What was
What's
it?
that?
I was flying it tail heavy. So I put
Oh.
an nose in it and it went away.
Huh.
Oh,
You were flying what again? What was it?
Tail heavy.
My
Tail
profile
heavy?
Pathfinder,
Hmm.
I didn't realize I was flying the CG that far back.
Wow.
And
Isn't
so
that amazing?
at the last minute, I started checking it. God, that seems a long ways back. So I threw an ounce of tail weight or nose weight on it and cured the problem.
That's exactly what had to be done with my vector profile. It's just a bit more nose weight. Made the insides and outsides the same.
Yeah, mine was
Amazing.
coming in on the
Yeah.
outside squares.
Yeah, because my SV11 comes in or gets loose on outsides a little bit. So man, that might be it too. Maybe I'm a little bit too tail heavy. Because I can
Yeah.
fly it tail heavy, but maybe the plane can't, the airframe can't handle it.
Yeah, Dennis, you were saying that you pulled the balsa green up into the canopy when you molded it. Bruce Perry up here was having the same problem when he was experimenting with molding. What he ended up finding worked good is just shrink one over it, leave it on the mold, and then do a canopy over the plastic,
Oh,
and that took care of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, it would have been a smooth finish, but again, this guy who was molding them for us, he had some canopies that were he did the buck, and he actually fiberglassed it so he'd have a good hard smooth finish and everything like that. They looked gorgeous, and he couldn't get anything. He couldn't pull anything, and he went back. He just started hacking up a few things, trying to look, for different shapes. Maybe the shape was, fighting them or something like that. And he found whenever he put it in with just the bare balsa that apparently the open grain and stuff like that just let the air pull out better or something like that. But who
Here's a
knows?
good looking canopy. Here's a good looking canopy.
Mhm.
oh
Yeah.
It's painted, right?
Wow, that is neat.
Oh, no, wow, look at that. No way.
That
Yeah,
is-
tinted. I tint them too. You know how to tint them, right, Bob?
Oh, yeah. Only certain kinds of plastic won't tint well. Certain, like a cellulose acetate butyrate will, but that PTEG or PTGE, whatever it is, that doesn't seem to tint very well.
Wendy had a video on molding and tinting canopies way back when, and I know that's posted up on the well, Nell site.
Yeah, with the dye, with that.
Yeah.
Well, apparently there's a different type of RIP dye that is made for polyesters, and if you use that, supposedly it works on the pet cheese, or that other
You
material.
can drop a vinegar in, it
I haven't
works
tried
too.
it.
Peter's showing us his. Is this your? What plane is this, Peter? It's on your.
I figured I'd put it up for Gordon. That's his Pathfinder right there.
Make that bigger.
I
Hang on a
figured I'd
second.
put it up for Gordon. That's his Pathfinder.
Let me make it bigger here. All right, cha-ching.
The hard part done.
There you go.
Yup.
What
Very
engine?
nice.
It's the engine that's going to be in there is a VF 45 OS Max.
Oh, that'd be plenty power. Yeah.
Yep. So I figured I'd throw that up there for Gene.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
Yeah, I'm sorry that unfortunately that plane has gotten so much hanger rash over the years. That's why the leading edge of sheeting looks like a bit repaired, and I had to repair it because that airplane had survived like 3 moves from New York to Florida to Illinois back to Florida again. So
Oh,
You gotta finish it, Peter, and then it won't get so beat up.
I know. I'm working on it. As you can see on the
That's
tail
good.
end, I
Looking
started,
good.
fabricating that block to the tail so I can get the rudder on it.
That's right.
What are you
Good.
doing, a full cockpit?
Yeah. Oh, geez. Yeah, a full cockpit, absolutely.
Well, it looks like you
Where it is right
followed
now.
it for a cockpit.
I'm gonna stop sharing that camera. I'll find the image of the cockpit that's going in there, and just give me a little bit.
Sure, no problem. And Paul Taylor, he's watching us tonight. He sent in a like. Thank you very much. And we have 30 people watching us. Thank you very much for watching us. Please consider subscribing to the Stunthangar channel.
Oh yeah.
And don't forget the like button. Hit the like. Doesn't cost you anything.
Charles,
Yeah.
just 1 second. Just 1 second to show the people that are on YouTube that are looking at this how friendly this hobby is. I joined up with Paul Taylor this weekend, met him
Yeah.
at the flying field,
Right.
and I did not have an airplane to fly right away.
Right.
And this is, hold on, I gotta change the camera. Oh, 1 second.
All right. Well, let me finish what I was saying, Peter. Hang on, okay? You hang on, please. So, anyways, consider joining our channel. You can and subscribing, and when you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell so that whenever Sparky's on or I'm on, you'll be notified. You won't miss any shows. And don't forget to consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99. And if you don't want to do that, just hit the super chat and donate any amount you want, anytime you want. And that super chat is only available during a live stream. So like I said, I do this every Monday and Friday night, and just come in and do super chat. And if it's not a convenient time for you to stay, go ahead and watch the replay.
Did you get your Rolls Royce yet, Charles?
What?
Did you get your Rolls Royce yet, Charles?
That's
For
funny.
doing
That's so funny.
Uh,
I'll get Rolls Royce
Okay.
after Sparky gets 2 Rolls Royces, okay?
I have a Rolls Canardly.
What is that?
It rolls
too.
down one side of the hill and Canardly get up the other.
The other side. Yeah.
That's a good one, Bob.
That's yeah.
Gnarly.
You ready, Peter? Make
Yeah.
it big. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was out with Paul Taylor, and he gifted me with this Nobler.
Nice.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Oh, that's really
Wow.
nice.
What a gift.
It's set up. The only damn thing is, it's set up for electric,
Electric.
guys. So I'm gonna be joining the electric crew sometime in the future.
Oh, Peter,
Yes. Yes, another one. Woo!
Peter, you're killing me. What are you doing?
Peter, get it close. I'll send you a set of Spectra lines. All right.
Oh my God.
So are you gonna buy your black hoodie too, Peter? to go with it when you join the dark side?
Funny.
Hey, guys,
Yeah, Walter.
you know, I don't fly for health reasons, right? But look at this.
What do you got there? You got electric motor?
You gotta change that background again.
Power 32.
Power 32 Outrunner?
E-flight.
E-flight. All
Yeah.
right. Very cool.
Yeah,
You see, I gotta flip it. Let me flip it.
There we go.
there you go.
Like this.
There I go. I'm so dumb, I didn't know I had it upside down and backwards.
You're not dumb.
It's doing aerobatics
don't even
already.
say that. You're not even dumb.
Look at that.
That's the real deal.
Wow.
Brand new.
Wow.
Look, I tremble when I hold it.
It's not an electric chair?
Yeah.
Got a scuba tank in the back.
That was good.
Yeah.
Very good. You know, guys, unless you have a windmill or a solar panel, all that stuff's fossil fuel powered.
That's right.
Who asked about the
No,
full
no, no,
fuel-
no. Electric
That's the
stuff is
funny
powered
thing
by
I
smoke.
laugh about.
Who asked
And I
about
don't know
the
what the
full
hell
canopy
I
on
got
the
wrong.
Yeah.
Who asked about the full canopy on the
I did.
Pathfinder?
The cockpit,
Yes.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
asked.
Oh, somebody else do something else up there.
Oh, that is sharp. That is a nice canopy. Wow.
Hold on, shit.
Whose
That's a
plane was that?
fantastic airplane.
That was Dave Reese's F5 Freedom Fighter.
Wow, beautiful.
Where
Man.
is it?
Actually, Bob, I think that was his T-38 version that I never saw.
That was
It
the
had-
F5. You didn't see the T-38 was a different airplane.
Yeah, but it had 2 seats in it. The F5 is a single seater.
That was the demonstrator.
Okay.
Wow. That was
for the
really
Pat,
detailed.
The F5D was a 2-seat version.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very
so
detailed.
so for the Pathfinder,
You got there, Dennis. What's that?
I missed your cockpit, Pete.
there you go, right there.
Oh, jeez.
That is an electric chair.
It is.
That looks
Big
like
time.
That's the cockpit, not cockpit. That's going to the Pathfinder.
Wow. Nice.
Already.
Very nice.
All right. Let me see. Let's show Dennis's canopy.
That's for the Fugamaster.
Yeah.
Oh, Fogmeister.
Yeah, it's 14.5 inches long, which is the biggest problem with it, but it can't, you can't fake anything else into that. I mean, it's just long and straight and everything like that. And
One of my
Yeah,
favorites.
this is
he might
50
only be
years
able to do
old.
one at
Huh?
a time.
I'm sorry?
He may only be able to do one at a time. Talk to him. He does his pullings on, I think, Tuesday.
Okay.
Park Flyer Plastics.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been hemming and hawing about it only because, cripe, I don't need 50 of them. I don't care if
Don't need
I
to
know
order
he takes a lot of them and he sells them, and that might have some appeal to anybody who's looking to, make a unique canopy on their airplane, because, it's kind of a generic jet trainer canopy, but
You don't need to order 50 of them.
yeah, if he's willing to make just a couple of them, I'm all, I'm on board.
I want one.
You
I
ever
wanna
been
spend-
to his website? Sorry.
I've been to his website. He's got a lot of neat stuff on there. He's got stuff that looks like he pulled, off, custom orders or one of a kinds and stuff. He's got things like the old Gropner Cirrus shape, which I used on a couple airplanes and stuff like that. So
Right.
Yeah.
Was
I
that
want
canopy
those
for your
canopies.
Magic Air,
Yeah.
Dennis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm lazy. I paint all my canopies.
Yeah.
I
Keith,
carve them and paint them.
Yeah, that's kind of like a lost art back when Bob was flying with Gene Schaefer and his Genesis and those aircraft. The stunt flyers used to like do up the cockpits all the time, and it was like awesome. And that's kind of
Wasn't
lost
there
over the years.
like 40 appearance points back then? I mean, you had an incentive to do that. Keith had a comment. I think Keith Trossel wanted to get into this conversation.
Well, there's this thing about the shrink bottles, heat shrink the bottles over a form. I've done that several times. Got some examples. This is the form. I carve these things out of basswood.
Okay.
And this is for the XF 84H. They call it the flying screech or something like that. And,
Thunder screech.
yeah. And I don't have the canopy. The canopy's already on the airplane. But I carve these things out of basswood, and all you have to do is sand them down with like 600 paper. You don't have to do any more finishing on it, and it doesn't shrinking the bottle over these things doesn't show any of the grain. So that's one advantage over the vacuum form. I think it picks.
You don't have to clear coat it in anything?
No, this is just bare wood, and you stick it in a bottle, and
Right, yeah, I've
it'll
heard of
leave.
that.
And it works really good. Here's one that I did for a Messerschmitt that's on the 3-engine Mistel, where the Messerschmitt's
I got my hand over it.
sitting on top of the JU-88.
Is that a profile? Oh, no, okay.
No, full body.
It was built. It's built as a profile, yeah. But
Oh, okay.
it was because it's a half A and small enough. This is scale, and the fuselage back behind the engine becomes scale width for this canopy, and so that worked pretty good. This is, see if I can. I don't know if you can see this or not, but that's
Yeah, you can see it fine.
And again, basswood without any finishing on it.
And if you took some 1/64 and made framing, you'd have a frame.
Yeah, I just painted it and that worked okay.
No, okay.
And then the Hughes XF11, here's the form for it. And here, that was profile for 2020s. So the nacelles are 1.5 inches wide at the nose, and that's scale. And then the fuselage can only be 1 inch wide, but pretty much the canopy is scale. And this is what came off of it. And I can show that XF11 if you'd like to see it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's nice.
And let's see, there's another one here.
And how thick are you pulling it on? The soda bottle, how thick is the soda bottle?
It's, I don't know, what is this? A quart?
Is that a 2-liter bottle?
It's a 2-liter, yeah. I
Yeah,
think so.
okay.
So what do? Cut the bottle in half and then put it over it, or?
You cut the base out of it. Well,
okay.
Take this off, cut the base off, and then what this bottom part does, it jams up inside the bottle.
Okay.
There, and then you take the heat gun to it, and you have to clamp down with strong clamps down on the bottom of it. So when you start
maintain the tightness, right?
Yeah. And then when it shrinks up, it gets even tighter. And then after it gets all formed and shaped, you just you can take a Dremel end cutting tool and just cut it all.
Ah,
is brilliant.
Cool. That's awesome.
Really
I agree.
Joe
Yeah,
at
there's
Disco
YouTube
did an
videos on
article
that.
on that,
Pretty
and he
interesting.
actually used different color soda, like green bottles and
No,
colors.
you can change the color of that. You can dye it.
Yeah, you can do that.
Dye it.
Sure.
Before he cuts it out of the
Only if it's a diet soda bottle.
Yeah, I don't like diet.
Man,
I think
great,
this is
Bob.
a big soda water bottle. That's all this
And
is.
if you can use root beer bottle, you get smoked glass.
There you go.
Or you go to
Oh my God.
Crazy now, guys.
Yeah.
Here, I'll show you that. I'll show you that Hughes airplane.
Well, he's going to get that. Here's one for you.
Good show
Oh,
tonight.
There you go.
nice.
That's the
Cool,
way it used
Bob.
to be done.
Yeah.
That was the first Genesis.
That's the
Wow.
way it used to be done with the panel lines and the small text, all of it.
Little map pins and all that stuff. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's funny,
Wow.
and on top of that, look at the panel lines on the side of the fuselage with the lettering.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
It was,
Did you actually have a what the hell's that rectangle in the front? Like a newsletter? Not a newsletter. A letter from home or something? Or is that just a flag?
no, you're thinking of Gerke and Kostecki. They used to put Playboy magazines in their airplanes. You know, they did.
Yeah. Al
Les
used to make
McDonald
approach
put the-
plates.
Les McDonald put a middle finger up on his one stiletto, right?
Actually, Wesley Dick a couple of years ago was on the cover of Stunt News, and he had that shrunk down, and he puts a copy of the Stunt News in all his new airplanes. He's got
nice.
so the pilot is reading Stunt News
His
with him
own-
on the cover. So
You
That
guys
is
have
cool.
too much free time.
Hold that up a little bit higher, Keith.
Well, okay. But this is
Oh, look at
Beautiful.
here.
Cool.
Hey,
Oh,
look
wow.
at that.
Gorgeous.
Dang.
Man,
You
oh,
know, that
man.
would make a nice electric.
No, this was Cox 020s.
Wow.
Duos.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Hey,
He's right.
Keith, Keith,
What?
do you live in a museum?
Yes.
He does. It's his museum.
Yeah.
Can I have an airplane of yours when you move on?
I live in the basement. On one end of it's my workshop, and then here's my library, and over there is big TV and big sofa and
Okay, it's a
bedroom
museum.
on the other end.
Keith, you haven't been sitting in that sofa much. I'm telling you that right now.
yeah,
That's beautiful. Really.
Yeah.
that. That is
Spectacular.
absolutely
Are
magnificent.
those
unbelievable.
functioning exhausts?
That is beautiful.
No, what you mean these things? Cow
The-
flaps?
No, not the nacelles. On the side here, on the side I'm looking at, it looks like it has openings for exhaust. Keep
No,
going to the,
Superchargers?
there you go, on the outside of the fuselage.
these things. Those
Yeah.
are
Inside and outside, okay.
those are part of the superchargers.
Yeah,
No,
superchargers. That's what I thought. Yeah.
These are just TDs.
Okay.
It gets air from the front, of course, and then they just exhaust out here.
Wow.
Make
Have
a
you
mess.
flown that?
Hmm?
Have you flown that?
Yes, several times. This was
Really?
built. This was built for that Tucson half-A multi-engine contest. It's half-A
No.
multi-engine profile scale.
Are
That's
those the
beautiful.
TDs?
That's not a
Pee-wees
profile.
on there, Keith?
The what?
Are those TDs or Pee-wees?
No, these are TDs.
Mhm.
It's beautiful.
Do they have any kind of throttle control? Or, because I don't know.
Well, okay, what in that contest they had two categories. One was limited or no throttle, and then there was the unlimited category, which was throttle. And I built some for each, but this one because of TDs, the O2Os, I don't know how you throttle those things. But one interesting thing about this is that these nacelles, they're 1.5 inches in diameter up here, which is allowed the engine itself or profile, you can get 1.5 inches wide. Well, these are scale, so it doesn't look like a profile. Now,
No,
the fuselage can only be 1 inch wide, so that's not scale width. That's 1 inch, limited to 1 inch. So that's what
Right.
the nose nacelle is.
actually, for that airplane, the full scale had a very, very
Look
small
close.
center pod on it, so
It would have been
That's
more.
what it looks
It
very
would have
much.
been more. Would have been more round than what this is.
Yeah.
more of a round cross. Okay,
Yeah.
but the way
That's
it looks
version.
spectacular. The effect. It doesn't look like a profile at all.
I'm
Yeah.
The way
amazed.
you shaped it and everything.
And one neat thing about this airplane too is that all the metal seams were filled, and the whole thing was painted, so there were no panel lines on this thing at all. That was the way it was on the real airplane.
Unfortunately, Howard extended the test flight way too long and
Yeah.
burned up and crashed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
That's the second one right there. It didn't have the double props.
the first one
Howard.
had counter-rotating props, and
Right.
one of the counter-rotating prop mechanisms went to reverse.
And one
reverse
done-
pitch, and
Yeah.
it crashed.
Oh,
Then that's-
wow.
It went into what? Reverse pitch?
Yeah. And he was too stubborn to go back home and land.
So
Well, he
he,
didn't have any choice.
yeah, he crashed into a house in Beverly Hills and killed a lady that lived in the house.
Oh, man.
Wow,
Anyway,
That airplane's just beautiful, Keith.
it is.
Wow.
It really is.
Typical Chosel work.
well,
Wow.
this
Correct.
contest they had here was fun. And Mike Cavill started the idea. And, he's the one that started VSC, and he's hoping maybe this would catch hold too. But and we had proxy flyers. We had several people would send their airplanes to be proxy flown there.
Wow.
But it,
Is he still with us?
yeah, but he's not doing well. He's in a home now and requires a lot of care.
Wow.
He's not doing well at all.
Send our love, I guess.
Got another airplane here with an interesting canopy on it.
Oh,
Whoa.
wow.
Love that airplane.
Wow, that is so pretty, Bob.
Yeah, it's Jim Kostecki's.
Becky airplane.
Is that a Formula S or something else?
No, that's the America. He flew that at the this was taken at the 69 Nationals in Willow Grove.
Oh, wow.
So how's that different
He
from
was
the Formula S?
he
It looks
was
very
an art teacher, a high school art teacher.
Good tell.
Wow.
Yeah,
No
he was
doubt.
something.
It's got a lot of resemblance to my Stingray, just tail dragger instead of trike.
Yeah.
Same
They were
era
all- they were
design.
all friends. All those guys were good buddies. Gialdini and Bambrick and Gerke and Kostecki. They were all of that era and all good friends. So their airplanes tended to look very similar.
That is so pretty. Thank you so much, Bob.
Yeah.
Hey, while we're in canopy sharing mode,
What do you
know,
have?
okay, you had to know this one was coming.
That.
Oh, wow.
There we are.
There it is.
Yeah, the mold I showed, or the buck I showed you, that's what it turned into.
I want to
Look at
build
the
one.
cockpit too.
1060W again.
That's it.
I
And
wanna
I'll just
build
keep
one of those.
begging at you to put out plans for that, Dennis.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. I got to do that. So,
It's a natural for electric. Get rid of that head sticking down.
yep. Yeah, my big brother's working on me on it and whatever. So I'd like to build a couple of them. So I'd like
Dennis,
to build one like that, and then I'd like to build a modernized version. So
what is that, Dennis?
that is the Fuga Magister. That's the airplane I won the Walker Cup with in
Oh,
'72.
okay.
That
Detail.
is 50 years ago.
Wow.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
With the V-tail.
With a V-tail. Well,
Very
let's
nice.
see.
Got a picture of the
Don't
whole
laugh.
period.
Don't laugh.
There we are.
All right.
There you go.
Wow.
Is this the same kid who was posing the dolphin a little bit ago?
Yeah. But a little
He's
bit
still-
older.
Whatever became of them.
I don't know.
That's a nice airplane, Dennis.
Yeah,
He's a pretty good lad still today.
There you go.
yeah, it's hanging in the
Wow.
corner here. So
You still have the airplane?
I sure do.
That's amazing. Wow.
Amazing. That is amazing. Hey, Gordon, I have a suggestion from Brent Williams. He says Gordon should show the detailed cockpit on his Tony and his Blanca.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
That
detail
Blanca's
and
awesome.
talent.
I'd love to see the Blanca, especially.
That Blanca is awesome.
Is that the Jim Young Belanca?
What's that?
Is that the Jim Young Belanca?
Yes. It's got dual steering wheels in it. Front panel. It's got lettering just like a real Blanca. It's got a scale paint job on it. And I tell quick story about that. I was replacing a tank on one at work. And this gal come in there with this short dress on and wants to climb up on the airplane to look inside. And yeah, go ahead. Well, I'm trying to be a gentleman. I roll over there and I'm putting these balsa wedges back in. And when she left, I got out and I drove that wedge right to the top of the wing.
Oh, no.
I was not a happy camper.
No.
I told the foreman about it. And he says, well, you know how to fix it. Get after it.
Mm.
So I put a patch on it and sanded it all out and primered it. And when I got through, you can tell I'd repainted that section of the airplane.
Very good.
So kind of embarrassing though.
Well, gentlemen, speaking of cockpits, I've got to get in one fairly early in the morning and I'll be flying until probably after dark tomorrow. So it's great chatting with y'all and getting your words of wisdom my way.
That was
Thank
a
you.
good that was a good segue, Robert.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Good night,
you.
all.
Thank you for coming in.
Take it easy, Bob.
Take care, Bob.
Good night, Bob. Good to see you again.
Good night.
And Steve Hines is in the house. Thank you, Steve Hines, for coming in.
Any snow there?
Oh, my God.
You just keep it there. Up here, I don't want any.
I just came in.
Better you than me.
You didn't get snow?
No, not a flake hardly.
You haven't done anything.
Oklahoma last night. What are you talking about?
They said Buffalo's
gonna get 6 feet.
We
All
got
green.
over a foot. I cleaned it all
You hear
out.
about that?
There's probably 4 inches out there now. So
Did you hear Buffalo's gonna get 6 feet?
yeah, they're already at 50. I mean, no, they're more. Yeah,
Yeah, they're
58 inches.
yeah.
And it's still coming down.
Tonight's supposed to
Crazy.
be windy.
Yeah, Alta Ski Resort's got 54 inches already.
They make homes in the South, you know.
They made what?
Homes.
Oh yeah.
Further south, yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't see Joe Gilbert going outside with a snow blower.
I don't own a snowboard, but I
Right.
shoveled snow.
Yeah, but at least we don't have twisters here that just kind of take the
they
whole
got
house away.
You do so. Sig makes them. We have lots of them.
Man,
Not the kind Joe gets. Well, he may get them too, but he gets other ones.
I've flown over tornadoes that were a quarter to 3/8 of a mile wide, and
Wow.
the wheat crop was gone, and it come to a country road, and the asphalt's pulled off the ground and gone
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
home, and there's a concrete there and a fireplace bottom, dude. If you go in the big F4s, there's only 2 options: underground or out of the way.
That's right.
That's it. This is bad.
Underground or out of the way. I gotta remember that one.
Yeah,
I
you
like
get.
that.
I mean, you can pick snowstorms or earthquakes or hurricanes or tornadoes, or it's just whatever you like best.
Everybody's got something, Stephen. That's
Yeah.
right.
We live in a great place.
Yeah, the banana belt.
Yep. We're equal with Northern
Oh,
California.
Billy's here.
All right.
Ooh, look at that. Ooh, that is pretty.
What we're looking at?
Billy's
Nice.
B47, isn't it?
Billy Rogers, P-47.
Yeah.
Who's showing it? Maybe I don't.
That's
Everybody.
me. I
It's
I'm just kind of throwing things up there here and there.
That's awesome.
He had
It's not coming. It's not coming through on mine.
The Japanese team came up to him at the World Championship. Well, they came up to the airplane and they're looking down at the airplane. They see the little kill markings on the side, and they're talking in Japanese and they're pointing at the kill markings. So Billy walks up and he points at one of the kill markings, and then he points at one of the Japanese guys and says, "That's you, and that's you."
Not nice.
They cracked up. They thought that was hilarious.
That's funny.
What airplane you got back there, Bob? Probably everybody else has asked.
What's that? Oh, that's a Caprice. went through a little thing on that before, you know.
Is that why you're taking the VSC?
Well, I hope so. You know, that's another picture of the.
Nice.
That's
Very,
beautiful.
very nice. That is really.
And he won the Worlds with that, and he won the Nationals with it too.
10.
How's he doing?
He's doing okay, actually. He's doing much better than he had been. He's on dialysis now.
Oh,
Well, yeah, but it's better than where he was, you know. So,
Yeah.
you know, he's not dead, you know. So
There it
I've got-
is. Oh, yeah.
Now, is
I
this
gotta
the one that Mark Wise has, or a different one?
No.
it's a stablemate to it. They were both built in my shop. The wings that were built in my shop at the same time. The one Mark has and this one were built at the same time.
Is this the 2010 winner, Bob?
Yep, yep. And the 2004 World Championship winner too.
He cut himself, went and wrapped his hand out and won it.
Yep,
Yep. 55 ounces.
yep.
Unbelievable.
710 squares.
I don't know why I can't see any of these pictures. I see Bob fine, but
710
I don't
squares
know
of
why you can't,
unobtainium.
Steve.
Billy told me that was 740.
No, it's not 740.
Yeah, the stories
I
get
cut-
better in the retelling, so.
I did the Lost Foam cradle sets for it, so I know how big it is.
I'm just saying that's what he was telling me.
Yeah, well, you know, Billy lies like a rug.
It ain't that big. I don't think either.
710 square inches of unobtainium balsa.
Yeah, how about it?
Well, you got that.
Not much of it.
Yeah, I got another picture here. Let's see if I can get this up here. You'll like this one. That's him flying at the World Championships in 2000.
All right.
Wow, that is nice.
he looks so relaxed when he flies.
That is better than nice.
Wow.
He looks so relaxed there.
Yeah.
All the
Yeah,
guys
that-
that are good look
trembling.
like that.
Well, he's got a dynamite Valium prescription.
Mhm.
All these guys like him and Bob, when they're flying, and Keith, they all look like that when they fly. They look like they're not stressed out. I don't know how they do that.
Yeah, Dave Fitzgerald.
I haven't
too.
figured that. Yeah,
Relax.
I can't figure that out. Like I'm in the center and just about, just a mess.
This is one
Same
of my
with Joe
favorite.
too. Joe looks calm when he's in the circle too, and I'm a mess when I'm in there.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
Nice shot.
Oh yeah.
And that's look at that cowling on the leading edge. Y'all, that ain't easy.
Not at all. Wow.
Yeah, he's
Wow.
something. And if you ever saw where he built these things, you know, at home, where he built the wings at my house, but went back home, built the rest of the airplane. And he built in this little dungeon that has hardly any lights or hardly any power tools. And he turns out these works of art.
Wow.
It's amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he is amazing, you know.
He had the want to.
I think I got a picture in here of the one that Mark has. I'm not sure.
Hey, Steve, are you still not seeing these pictures, Steve?
no, I'm not. I don't know
Maybe
why.
change your view. Maybe you're in speaker view or something. Try a different view. Upper right hand corner.
Yeah,
Try something different.
I tried gallery, I tried full screen, I tried speaker.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, this is not the one that Mark has, but this is one of the other two airplanes.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow.
That's the bubble canopy.
Yeah, there
How
are two
many
bubble
do you have?
canopy ones. Mark has one of the bubble canopy. He has one with the subforward trailing edge, and this was the other one. This was the French airplane. He flew this in France.
That's the one that Sparky copied years ago and it crashed.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, Marty
Yeah.
really fell in love with this airplane. Mhm. And built one that was, you know, every bit as nice, you know, no question about it. You know.
Wow. I didn't realize he built that many of them.
Yeah. And this is the one I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, I think this is the one you have.
PW?
Yeah, I guess,
I think that's the one you have.
I think it is.
Wow.
Wow.
Pretty
And
airplane.
it's electric now, correct?
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah, it's finally.
But
a good-
Joe, I bought a gasoline powered shaver for myself. So, yeah.
All fossil fuel power, you guys just fooling yourselves.
Yeah.
I just, all I gotta say is that's a bummer.
It's finally a good airplane.
Yep.
Believable.
Electric,
Yeah, that's it.
they can be pretty darn good.
Wow, that's
Now that-
awesome.
The only difference is now that it's electric, the pilot doesn't look as happy.
Well, he doesn't look as greasy anyway.
Oh, no, it's.
His butt don't vibrate in the air anymore.
I have
It's
a,
When
I have
I,
a hand raised by Peter. Peter has his hand raised. He has a question or comment.
Yes, I have a question. Mark,
Yes.
are you the Mark that flies with Paul Taylor?
No.
No, okay. Never mind. Different Mark.
All right. Hey guys, I'm going to end the live stream. We can still hang out. I'm just going to end the live stream because I don't think too many people like watching a over 2-hour video on YouTube. So I just end the live stream just so we can continue on. It's just not televised. And I want to thank everybody for coming in. And we'll be back Monday. So hopefully you have a chance to go out there and work in your shop, or if you have nice weather, go fly and come back Monday and tell us all about it. So until then,